Good day, listeners and viewers at home. Welcome to our Bible study class. This is your YouTube pastor and online tutor. Last time in our Bible study class, which was study 7, I discussed the second advent of Christ, or the second coming of Christ. This week, I shall be discussing the resurrection of the dead. And the various topics to be considered are 1. Meaning of resurrection. 2. Kinds of resurrection. 3. The phases or levels or categories of first resurrection. 4. The second resurrection. 5. Facts about resurrection of the dead. And 6. Where we shall be after death. Meaning of resurrection. Resurrection of the dead is the comeback to life of the demised or dead souls at the end of time, when the spirit is united with the body. The resurrection of the dead is a Christian teaching about the coming back to life of dead souls at the end of the day. At the resurrection, God will raise up the dead soul back to life from the dust of the earth. Biblical basis of resurrection. Many Bible passages give us clear assurance of the resurrection of the dead. 1. John chapter 5, verse 21 to 29. It said that all who are in their graves will hear his voice, that is the voice of Christ, and come out of their graves. Those who have done good will rise up to life eternal, and those who have done evil will rise up to be condemned to the lake of fire. 2. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 42 to 44. Paul explained the differences between our mortal bodies and the glorified ones to come. 3. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. The dead in Christ will rise first when Jesus shall come in the cloud at the last trump. 4. The resurrection of sinners at the close of the millennial reign of Christ. Revelation chapter 20, verse 11 to 15. Kinds of resurrection. In Christian teaching, there are 2 kinds of resurrection, which are 1. The first resurrection or the resurrection to life. 2. The second resurrection or resurrection to eternal damnation or punishment or judgment of sinners. The first resurrection. The first resurrection, which is also called the resurrection to life, is the resurrection of believers, the God saints, those who have served God faithfully and holily before death will rise up to life eternal. They will be accepted to God's kingdom and live with God forever in his new heaven and in his earth. The phases of the first resurrection. The first resurrection is in 5 phases. 1. The resurrection of Jesus Christ, which has already happened. Jesus died, resurrected, and went back to heaven. It is regarded as the part of the first resurrection. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 20. But now is Christ risen from the dead and become the first fruit of them that slept. When Jesus Christ died, his spirit went straight to the paradise. He was the first to die, resurrected, and went to paradise. He did not go to hell or Hades or Sheol. Psalm 16, verse 10. He told his thief on the cross that today shalt thou be with me in paradise. Luke chapter 23, verse 43. 2. The resurrection of the raptured saints at rapture. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13 to 17. 1 Corinthians 15, 51 to 57. 3. The resurrection of the tribulation saints at the second advent of Christ, or the second coming of Christ after the great tribulation of 7 years. Revelation chapter 20, verse 4 to 6. 4. The resurrection of the Old Testament saints, also at the second advent of Christ. Revelation chapter 20, verse 4 to 6. 5. The resurrection of the millennial saints. Some who have died as saints during the millennial reign of Christ shall resurrect at the close of the millennial kingdom of Christ. Revelation 20, verse 12 and verse 12 to 13. The second resurrection. Revelation chapter 20, from verse 12 to 15. The second resurrection is also called the resurrection of sinners, or resurrection to eternal damnation, or eternal punishment. It is the final resurrection of all sinners and the ungodly in order to appear before Christ for final judgment at the close of the millennial reign of Christ. This set of souls shall be sentenced to eternal damnation in the lake of fire. Revelation chapter 20 verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books, according to their works. Are you preparing? Will your name be in the books or in the book of life? Strive to serve the Lord faithfully so that your name will be imprinted in the book of life. The nature of the saint's resurrected body. In 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51 to 52, we can see that 1. Believer's body is sown perishable, but raised up imperishable, that is, it will never die again. 2. It is sown in weakness, but will raised in power. 3. It is sown in a natural body, but will be raised in a spiritual body. The features of the saint resurrection. 1. It is not just the spirit living on, but it is a bodily resurrection. 2. The resurrected body will be different. It will be mortal. That is, live forever and never dies. It will be glorified and free from sin, sickness, and death. Verse 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. Verse 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. The warning is verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire, where will souls be after death. When the spirit leaves the body, the person becomes a dead soul. When a person dies, he is conscious and knows that he has died. The spirit of every soul that dies goes to hell before Christ died. But at the resurrection of Christ, the spirit of every believer of God has been translated into the paradise. But that of every sinner remains in hell till the final resurrection. Jesus told one of the thieves, crucified alongside with him, in Luke chapter 23, verse 43, today shalt thou be with me in paradise. Paradise is above, but hell is beneath the ground. When Christ died, his spirit goes to the paradise, and not hell or Sheol or Hades. Psalm 16, verse 10. Act 2, verse 27 to 32. Act chapter 13, verse 35. Psalm 49, verse 9. It was the first fruit of them that died. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 20. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 14. Since Christ rose, no spirit of any saint remains or goes to hell, but to the paradise. In Matthew chapter 27, verse 50 to 53. I read, verse 50. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. Verse 51. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rock rent. Verse 52. And the graves opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept rose, and came out. Verse 53. Verse 53. And came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. After some times, these people were no more seen in the street of Jerusalem, being translated to the paradise. And since then, as many saints that die, their spirit go to paradise above. This is the third heaven. This event was not a resurrection, but a translation. Before I close, I want to discuss three distinct terms. They are 1. The grave. 2. Hades, hell, and Sheol. And 3. Tartarus, the grave. Grave is the resting place of the body from where the spirit has been departed. When a person dies, he or she is buried in the grave, and the body remains there on the resurrection day. Though the body might have rotten, but on the resurrection day, the spirit will be united with the body and quickened and become a living soul. Hades, hell, or Sheol. Hades is a Greek word. Sheol is an Hebrew word. While hell is an English word, meaning the same thing. Psalm 16 verse 10. Different Bible English version use the word Sheol, Hades, or hell, meaning the same thing. Hades, or hell, or Sheol, is a place of torment of the spirit of sinners until the day of final judgment, when hell will deliver them as a resurrection to face God's final judgment. Luke 16, verse 20 to 27. This is the story of Lazarus and the rich man, telling us that anyone that dies goes to hell. But this hell is separated into two parts. One part is for the saints of God. Then the other part is for the sinners. Those in the part of the Satan will be suffering, while those in the other side of the hell, which are saints of God, it is a place of enjoyment. You can read Psalm 16 verse 10, Psalm 49 verse 9, and Psalm 9 verse 17. Paradise. When Christ died, he went straight to paradise. And when he was to resurrect, he visited the hell and collected the key of hell and that of death from Satan the devil, in order to loose the spirit of all saints of God since the day of Adam from the path of hell, and translated them to paradise. Let us read 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 13 and Ephesians chapter 4 verse 8. 1 Peter 3:19. By which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, in Ephesians 4 verse 8 and 9. Wherefore he said, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Verse 9. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first into the lower parts of the earth? Jesus Christ has set us free from the bank of hell and death. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 54 and 55. If you and I die today as believers, our spirit will go straight to heaven, to rest there until the day of resurrection, and not to hell. Only the spirits of sinners go to hell at death. The paradise above, but hell is beneath the ground. Hell is the lower part of the heart, where the spirit of sinners are kept. Tartarus. Tartarus is a place where the spirit of the fallen angels were kept until the day of final judgment. Which type of resurrection will you desire? The first resurrection into God's eternal kingdom, or the second resurrection into eternal damnation or punishment? Strive to experience the first resurrection. Be converted, turn to Christ, and be holy. Psalm 9 verse 17. The wicked shall turn to hell, and the nations that forget God. Revelation 20:15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Hope you have been blessed. Hope you have been touched. Hope you have been inspired. Hope you have been educated. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Press the notification button. Click on all. Share this message to others and to many other social platforms. Follow us on Facebook. Like our page, Holy Land Christian Life Ministry. Until next time, that we shall be interacting again. Thanks for listening and watching. Remain blessed.